Hello everybody, this is Ken Rucker. I'm sitting here with Mr. Terry Huddleston. He is a local cartoonist from South Indiana. We're here today to talk to him about what it is that he does. Terry, how you doing, brother?
Doing fine, doing fine.
All right, good to see you again, man. And I'd like to ask you first off, what is it that you do?
All right, so what I do basically is I'm a freelance artist, and so instead of have gun will travel, I got pencil will travel. You know, people pay me for an assortment of different artistic needs. It's not fine art, it's mostly graphic art and pop art, but there's a booming industry for that now that a lot of the late 70s, early 80s kids are all, 30, 40 years old now, and so they're pretty much the market base, which is why you see stuff like Transformers and Ninja Turtles and G.I. Joe back in the mainstream again, because that's what we grew up with. So.
Well, man, great. Tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Yeah, but I remember you telling me you were in the military.
Yeah, I did some time in the service. I had just about every type of job you could imagine somebody having. I taste tested all of them, except for McDonald's. I never worked at McDonald's. I had this snobby teenage thing where I said I'm never going to work at a fast food restaurant. But I worked at fine dining restaurants. I bussed tables. I worked in factory jobs. And I didn't know it at the time, but that gave me a really holistic perspective on what's out there if you don't start a business for yourself.
And that's what I was telling my son. Right now he's going through that, and he's a great artist, cartoonist, what it is, and he does graphic art. And I'm telling him that too, but like you were telling me, you got to get a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, you got to go through that journey, and it's I know people though, it's not a guaranteed thing. I know people that are the same age as me and they still at the starting line, trying to figure out how to do it. So it's something that you got to proactively go seeking, you know what I mean? It's like it's a hero's journey. Exactly. If you ever heard of Joseph Campbell, you have to go out from your comfort zone into the unknown, and in the unknown, that's where your opportunities are. Opportunities don't start at home. Opportunities start out there.
There you go, brother. And you know what? That's just it. So when was it that you decided to go into doing what you did?
Well, it's like you said about the bad taste in my mouth. I had three things, kind of like a trinity of security needs, kind of hit me at the same time. I had my job security was threatened at a place I really liked. I loved it, in fact, and it was a company I helped build up. And then my home security had got invaded. I had a home invasion right around the same time. And then, my marriage we weren't in a good spot because of the other things. And so, basically, I realized that I have been living this, like just in a poker term, I've been trying to play it safe, and I was too risk averse. But even at that, I had the worst things that could happen to me, obviously besides getting killed, happen to me. I had some people that broke in my house with a gun in my face, and that was a turning point for me, because I realized at the time it was happening that I wasn't afraid of dying. That wasn't my fear. I was afraid of what my wife was gonna have to do without me. And so that made me realize that if I'm not afraid to die, then why am I afraid to live? Why am I not taking risks? And going out there and trying to do something for me. So that started a whole thing where I decided that I'm going to start doing stuff that I never did before. But the most important part but education is still the key, and not necessarily going to college per se, but you usually make bad decisions because you have bad information, right? You don't have enough information to make an informed decision. So I had to basically go back to the building blocks of philosophy, psychology, political history, and then all this stuff was on the internet. They have full college courses. People don't realize this on the internet. MIT, Berkeley, Harvard, Yale, you can get the freshman courses for free. You ain't got to take no test, you just listen. Right? Listen to the guy give his lecture.
Exactly.
You get the same information that those college elites are getting, right? And you take it and you use it, right?
Exactly.
And so I read a lot of books, and so this was, the only reason I'm bringing this up because it wasn't just I made up my mind and then I went out there and started kicking the world's butt. It was a process. It took about 4 years to basically rebuild myself. But much like World War II cities, I had gotten bombed out so much from life that it was easy to build on top of the wreckage because all the old thinking was destroyed. And so I got to build new stuff. And that's why I say you got to have that crisis is the best thing that can happen to you. Nobody wants to hear that like, hey, you know.
But you know what is cool? You know what I'm glad is to be able to talk to Terry and then him to be able to spit knowledge, because this brother is far deeper than him just being doing what he's doing, a graphic artist. This cat is going into something that's far deeper than what you would think. The great thing is what he's saying is true. You can't just pigeonhole yourself into one area or one thing. It's good to educate yourself, even though you may not even go to school. It's good just to educate yourself on the world and what's going on around you.
Yeah, and a lot of this, these outward things that affected me really caused me to focus on the things I was doing wrong. So at the end of the day, I was solely responsible for most of the stuff that happened to me. Just from bad decisions that I had made. You know, I had decided to let this happen, and this led to this happening, and this led to this happening. And so, what an education does, it gives you the ability to do probable outcome thinking, and so you can think objectively about things, but you can think in a probable, what probably will happen.
Exactly.
And so you become pretty much you can read the future, right? And I'm pretty good at it. People, it's scary. And I'll tell people like, look, you're gonna do this, and then this is gonna happen, and then this will probably happen, and then this will happen as a result. And a year later, they're like, man, you know, you were right on.
Exactly. But you know what, Terry? I'm the exact same way with myself, and I never look behind me because some of the crap that was behind me wasn't good for me.
Right.
That wasn't good to me, so I look forward. So tell me what type of venues do you do with, like Comic-Con?
It's mostly Comic-Cons. I mean, the bulk of it is Comic-Cons. And then when I'm not doing Comic-Cons, I'm doing a lot of freelance work. And I'm pretty booked up on both sides of the fence on that, so that's worked out. But really, with freelance, you know, it's a lot about building client trust. And so all you have to do is focus on one client at a time. That's one. And two, once you get steady clients, you really can't take on too many anyway. It's not an infinite thing. So you get steady clients, you get throughout the year that are always gonna reciprocate.
Now, do you have a big we may know that you are?
My biggest client is a company called Huckleberry Inc. And they make all types of merchandise that's licensed through Marvel, Disney, Hasbro, Mattel, Sanrio, which is Hello Kitty, Ninja Turtles, so Nickelodeon, you know, you name it. I've done stuff for pretty much for licensing for all these different companies. And he's constantly, you know, this guy started this business just kind of on a fluke, and you know, he made millions with it. And now I'm not making millions, but I definitely get the prestige of knowing when you go to Walmart, like, hey, that's my design on that product right there, or a Hot Top, or anywhere this products are sold. So
are you designing what, T-shirts for
I'm designing, like, we design cell phone cases, little finger toys. He sells a lot here, but he sells a lot overseas too. Okay. At the various Disney Worlds and just other venues as well.
Now, how would a person be able to get into what you're doing? If somebody else wanted to do what you're doing, how would they get in?
It's a series of random events, and you get that question a lot. It's like, well, how do I get? But that's really, it's a journey once again, but it's a blind journey, right? Because you only can predict so much of the future. And in life we make plans, but real life is way better than any plan you got. But on the other hand, you still got to have a plan, because that's the rope that you're going. Like, okay, I'm planning on going to Los Angeles and selling some artwork. But while I was there, I bet the guy that runs Huckleberry Inc., I didn't plan on that. That ended up being a great institution for my life. So, you know, you basically got to be in motion to get the opportunities. Like I said, you have to be out there. The opportunities are never going to come to you.
You got to go to it.
You know, and you'll get the bounce back when you'll go out, and then you'll go back home, and then like, hey, I met you out here. I'm looking to get some, you know, work done. But technically, if you don't put yourself out there, like, you don't exist.
Exactly. Well, just
in the art world.
If you sing or you dance, locally is cool. Because I was a stand-up comedian at one time. Yeah. And I would do local. And then it got to the point where I put myself out there, I put tapes out there and started talking to people. That was before YouTube. And then I'm all done for doing the show, Cedric Entertainers, Arcades, Joe Torre. The whole list went down and down. And it was something that I stopped doing. And then when we doing this here, this big year, hopefully it'll open up. But you do. You can't go and be in one spot. You got to move around. Now, you just got back from somewhere.
Yeah, I just got back from Vegas, speaking of comedians. Yeah, Vegas, you know, doing a show there. But, you know, they also had the World Series of Poker there, and I did a comic book for another client, once again, another steady client, based on the World Series of Poker combined with zombies. And so he took me in there, and I got to see the
Some of them like zombie poker players.
Pretty much, yeah.
So if you lose, they gonna start eating your arms.
Well, it's pretty much during the World Series of Poker, and then there's an outbreak, and all the major stars have to run and try to get even, but eventually they do. And, you know, it's a fun, just mindless fun. You know, it ain't nothing big about it.
Now, then you're heading somewhere this weekend also, right?
This weekend I'm going to Miami. Another Comic-Con. It's always a Comic-Con. People go, oh man, you're gonna have fun, but I go for business, not for pleasure.
There you go.
You know, I mean, I might look at some girls or two, but that's about all I'm gonna do. That's all I'm gonna do.
Well, take some pictures, man, and inbox them for Okay, now what about the money potential? Is it lucrative?
The money potential is astronomical. There's tiers. The people that run the shows, they spend probably $250,000 to $500,000, but they make millions on it. And then, so you're dealing with millions per show, right? That pretty much trickle down. You're gonna be somewhere on that pyramid. Some people are way at the bottom. Some people in the middle. You know, I'm somewhere towards the top, not making millions per show, but I make pretty good figures at every show I do.
You know what? I peek in from time to time. I might see your wife. Is it Leah? Leah. I peek in and I see Leah, because you're never on Facebook, but I'll peek in and I'll see your booth, and your booth is elaborate, and I see that you have people are always there, man, you know, getting autographs, buying from you, and so how long does it take you to set that up, man? Because you got
it actually doesn't take that long. I've always been, because of the job I had before I started this, which was a book resale warehouse. There's a place called Better World Books out there, and they're a huge company now, but they were small when we started. And I learned something about myself, which is that I'm very I'm able to make processes efficient, and it was something I didn't know about myself. But so if I see a process, I can streamline it. And so I've always cultivated having something that seemed complex, but it came out of simplicity, because I don't want to be setting up for hours. So I got it to where it doesn't take that long. Maybe about an hour to do the initial setup, and maybe another hour to do the fine tuning. Each show, the booth space is different, so you gotta, you know, find ways to make it work.
Now, did you take a crew of people with you?
No, just one person. Once again, efficiency.
Oh yeah, just you.
Every now and again, my wife will come along with me for the big shows, but you know, I pretty much keep it streamlined. I mean, I've noticed throughout my lifetime that people have varying degrees of passion.
Sure.
And so I've always built my business model on either I do it or my wife can do it, and pretty soon my children are also getting into it.
Exactly.
But I just never had good success with anybody that wasn't part of the family, to be honest with you.
Okay, now,
as far as helping me out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, then you got to pay for it.
Well, I don't mind. I would pay for good time. I would pay for passion. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's so hard because people kind of have this employee mindset, and so you pay them, but they're just really just there to listen to what you want them to do. But I need team members. I don't need employees.
And then you need somebody that has the same type of passion.
That's what I'm saying. I need somebody that feels like they're invested in, and of course, nobody's going to be more invested than family. So, so my wife ends up being the best. She's pretty much equal, if not better, to me at doing what we do. But I'm cool with that. I mean, I'm a greedy guy, but at the same time, I'm efficiently greedy. And I think that if you try to make your money making engine too big, it can be unwieldy.
Exactly.
Like, so I don't gotta worry about right now what person X is doing. Like I know exactly what my business is at any given time.
Exactly. You're not worried about the next man.
I got 5 guys out there, and I'm wondering, like, I'm not, you know.
That's what you have to do. Now, did you take any training? Are you self-taught? Did you go to any
self-taught art. Yeah, no art classes, no art. I came up at a time where the type of art I was doing wasn't really accepted. And so a lot of my art teachers was like, I don't want you doing cartoons in here and technique, that kind of stuff out of here.
That's what my son, he went through that.
And that's great though. It makes for a great story later.
Sure, exactly.
It adds spice. One thing I will say is that adversity is your best friend. If not anything else, because it will force you to get up off your butt and do something that you normally wouldn't do because they push you. It's like the Bible says that iron sharpens iron. It's just one man sharpens another.
That's it, brother, right there.
And I'm not necessarily a big religious person, but I think the Bible is probably one of the best business books out there because it's got principles in there that people can grab hold of them. Even as an unbeliever, it'll change your life. Case in point, Apostle Paul was talking about it. I'm paraphrasing. I'm not going to be exactly what he was saying. Pretty much, don't force people to cater to you. You cater to them.
Exactly.
So if your brother don't eat meat, then you don't eat meat to deal with them. And the same thing with business. You don't try to get them to. You come down to where they're at, and that's where the money is, right? If you can relate to everybody on their level. And then, all opens up. But
you are the easiest interviewer I've done so far, man. I'm just asking you a question, and then you giving me an abundant amount of answers.
Well, just so you know, I consider myself an armchair comedian as well, and public speaker. I've always liked public speaking, so
How many hours a day do you devote to your craft?
Oh man, all day.
All day. So when you
when I work, with this type of job, when you start your own business, if you weren't one before, you'll become a workaholic. Only because you finally get locked into a situation where the harder you work, the more money you make. Exactly. And that's something for most Americans that just doesn't happen. They can work harder at the job, but they're still going to get whatever the hourly rate is, right?
Exactly.
And if you get a raise, it's incremental. But for me, working hard, I can make myself thousands of more dollars in a weekend. And so I can spend time working for myself and honing my craft, and then it immediately gets a reward loop that weekend, as opposed to I'll see the money years from now.
6 months later.
No, I can immediately, I did this product X, and then I sold X amount and made an extra $3,000 off of that one product.
Yeah. So you when you're doing that, there's never a set amount of money you're going to make on a weekend. It might be more one weekend.
It's nothing's guaranteed. It's almost into that fashion. It's a lot like I call it longshore fishermen, where we basically have to go on intel, word of mouth, or past experience. We spend a whole bunch of money up front with boost costs and logistic costs, getting stuff there, getting you there, place to sleep, on the hopes that you're gonna make money. Now, after a while, you get good at figuring out what shows are gonna be good. And sometimes the indicators aren't as straightforward as some shows. The first show will be a bad show. And a lot of guys are like, I'm never doing the show again. And I'm like, well, there's seeds that if they fix them, this could be a great show. And I'll do it the second year, and it blows up. Another thing that does too is it gets you, this is the deeper aspect of it, is when you do a bad show, you get more political capital. So you get less money, but the people that run that show are more grateful to you for doing their bad show. They know you lost money. And so if you do it again, they're gonna hook you up with a better situation because you gave them another shot after you had a bad show, and they know it was a bad show. And this is the intricate politics you gotta learn from reading, once again, political science and just figuring out how human beings work. So it's not always 1, 2, 3. Like, I did a bad show, I'm not coming back. Sometimes you what? I'm gonna parlay. Let's say you did a bad comedy set.
Oh man!
But that guy that runs that gig, like, you know what? I know I'm
Yeah, I
chill,
see your
man.
tape, man.
I'm gonna have you go out there first this time.
Exactly.
You know, you a headline this guy next time. Man, I'm sorry I messed you up.
Yeah, exactly. What type of equipment do you use?
I'm all digital, so once again, everything's minimal with me, man. I don't have an elaborate art lab. You know, I just got a computer monitor with like 4 monitors on it. You know, one for one program, one for another, one for TV, and one for the internet stuff. Okay. You know, because you're always referencing things here, looking up this, looking up that. I used to do pen and paper, but I went completely digital. I mean, pretty much as an artist, you become a human factory, especially when you're doing pop art. So it's all content and quantity sometimes, and so you want to make sure you don't put anything in your way that's going to slow down production.
Now, you see a lot of African Americans doing what you do?
Actually, yeah, the number of African Americans and females has grown exponentially in the last 4 or 5 years, and it's very diverse set of people coming in. And really, another fantastic story about the comic industry is that the old hierarchy was toppled. And so it used to be old white guys that kind of basically were the kings
like
of this industry. Well, your Stan Lees, your Neil Adams, you name it, it was an old white guy.
Yeah.
Like you pick your favorite artist. I love all these guys, but it was old white guys that pretty much ran the show. They were young white guys that became old white guys.
Yeah.
Then what ended up happening is that the superhero movie boom came. And like a rocket, it penetrated right to the core of the comic industry and blew it up from the inside out. And so now the average customer doesn't read comics. So those guys don't have the same clout they used to have. And 2, it democratized it completely. It completely flattened the playing field now. Where if you had skills, then they were going off pure skills. They don't know who you are from you. They're like, hey, I like this, I'm gonna give you money. And so this allows somebody like me to amass a lot of political power, even amongst these names. I'm actually good friends with Neil Adams these days. You know, guys I grew up with, I worship these guys, but they respect my game because they see he's walking around the show a lot. And so they know this is Terry Huddleston made another sale. You know,
and you know what? Let's show your work. This is what Terry does.
Yeah, this is 5 different poems. These are just some of the collections, but I'll sell them individually as well. Okay. And this is just a compilation of kind of 70s, 80s type of stuff. Just monsters. Mr. T, I love Mr. T's a big hero of mine. I love Mr. T.
You got Michael Jackson.
And so the way this works is that anybody can interface with this. Like you don't have to read comics to recognize anything that's on this poster. That's part of my strategy, is having something for everybody. And so a family of 5 come in, dad gets something, the mom gets something, the kids get something.
You got everybody mixing it up. Some weird.
This one, David Bowie. This one is Star Wars.
You got a lot of Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars is once again hot again. So
what do you sell these for?
I sell these for $30 each.
$30 each.
And
that's awesome.
People love them.
When you sell these, see, that's a good thing because I've seen you sell individual.
Right, I sell individuals as well.
And then what size are those?
Those are 14 by 20.
14 by 20. What do you sell them?
Those are sell for 20.
For 20. So you make a pretty good killing on them.
I mean, it's all a matter of I've always had the mindset, because a lot of people, this is the Marvel one, they try to be bargain bin, but I'm not selling, trying to give them deals, but I'm trying to give them what they want. And I pay for what I want. I don't go into a shoe store and start haggling over the price. I just buy the shoes I want, right?